All right, we got to get right now to the Knicks. They dropped their 5th straight, so quite the opposite effect for the Knicks tonight, not having such a good season like James Harden is down there. They fell to the Magic. Here's what head coach Jeff Hornacek had to say about his team's defense following the game. Listen to this.
Well, I think they're trying. We just must not be good enough defensively. We might have to start figuring out ways to trap and do some gimmicky defenses. That's guys running off screens, rolling the basket, driving right off us. That's there's nothing schemish about that. That's just trying to chase the guys.
We light up the neon lights here at 120 Sports for this legit or nah. For Hornacek to call out his team's defense, is that legit or nah?
Oh, it's very legit. I think obviously it goes. You got to start with your personnel. You're starting 2 guys, possibly 3. I put Porzingis in that, but I like Porzingis' defense because he can protect the basket because he's long. But you got 2 guys who are going to play a lot of minutes, and I'm talking about Derrick Rose and Carmelo Anthony that's going to play a ton of minutes. They're not necessarily defensive-oriented guys. Both of these guys are capable of playing defense. It's just making a dedication to it. Defense is not fun. It's not something a lot of guys like to do. Offensive, a lot of guys like to do. You got to buy into it. Where I fault Hornacek at is you should have a system in place. And what I mean by that is a certain way you play pick and rolls, where you play screens. You don't necessarily have to have the best defensive guys. You got to get guys to buy into your system. And with the Knicks, they don't have a system in place. And the hardest thing in this league is a pick-and-roll league. So the first thing I would look at and say, how do we play pick-and-rolls? And if we play it a certain kind of way, you got to do it every time. I played with 2 centers, Shaquille O'Neal, Alonzo Mourning. We had to play the pick-and-roll a certain type of way with those guys because they're too big to come out on the floor and help and show. So you have to know where to send them at. You got to remember who's in the game and make sure you send the pick-and-roll to them. And it's just a lot of things that goes into it, and it takes a lot of dedication and work. And they don't have the dedication and work ethic to do that right now. And it shows. Early in the season it was really bad, and he gave it to Kurt Rambis. When they got on a little winning streak and started playing a little better basketball, we haven't talked about it. And now that they're losing again, those same deficiencies have came out again. So they haven't learned.
Do you think that this is a real concern, or is this more of a motivational move by Hornacek to kind of get his players going and motivated?
Well, I think it's a real concern. Obviously, they're not out of it by any stretch of imagination, but I know he knows if they want to make the playoffs, that's their expectation to make the playoffs. I don't think not making the playoffs is something that they want to do. They're not in the rebuilding stage right now if you look at their roster. So they want to make the playoffs. So it's something that I think he's trying to, kind of calling them out. He can't really say anything else. I mean, you let a team like Orlando come in who's not very good offensively, make 15 threes and 6 guys get double figures. You just don't shut down anybody. It becomes